It's Tuesday the 4th of May 2021 and welcome to another Timeware Community Podcast. My name's Simon Birchall and with me we've got a special guest today. It's Charlotte from Customer Care.
Hi everyone.
How's it going?
All good, glad to be back at work after a long weekend.
A long weekend. And also with us, is Mike Coop. Fortunately, it's Mike Coop.
Hello.
And today's topic is raising a support ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, we've had a few changes recently in the way that this works, and I thought it'd be good to pull Charlotte in. Just Charlotte, what's your title?
I have a new title now. It's Head of Customer Care.
Fantastic. And customer care, as everybody knows, encompasses both the support team and the liaison guys.
Yep.
So you've got Carl on the one side and Michelle, and on the other side you've got the technical guys.
Yep.
And today we're going to be talking briefly about how we log or how a customer raises a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are two ways, two methods at the moment. I think
Yeah.
one of them we don't have too many customers doing, and that's the online system using Vivanti. Or do you get many calls?
Yeah, we do get a few calls like that, mainly from our partner companies,
Right.
as opposed to the end users.
Right. Well, what we want to do, we're going to be opening this up, or we should be opening this up to the people that are operating on a managed service now. So yesterday, for example, we've now got a skeleton staff working on bank holidays, but for companies that are working weekends, when we're not around,
Yeah.
people can log faults. I mean, they send emails in, don't they? But they can log the fault straight onto our fault logging system using on the Vivanti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does a customer do that at the moment? How would they do it?
So they'd have to speak to Charlotte, and then we can send them out a link,
Yes.
and then they have a unique login and password.
Can they access that through timeware.org?
Yeah, there will be. Yeah.
So really, what we could do if a customer hears this and is interested in using the
It's something we
online
can do.
fault logging system,
Yeah.
to get in touch with you, you can organise a password for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they could log the faults directly into the system. And then what would happen then? Let's say they logged in at 11 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
What would happen?
As soon as I'm in the morning, I'd see that the call has been logged,
Right.
and it gets booked in for a next available slot.
Okay. What time do we open in the
I'm
morning?
usually in for about 8:30,
Right.
and the first slot is 9 o'clock in the morning.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's the online system. So if we normally a call will come through as a telephone call, won't it?
Yeah.
And could you just describe to us how when the call comes in? Let's say it's now 9:20. The call comes in. It's a Monday morning. What's the general procedure? How would you?
So what would happen is I'd take a description of the fault.
Yep.
If they're having sort of any errors or any way that they can send me any pictures over,
Okay.
they send those over via email.
So pictures around if it's a terminal.
Yeah.
There's a terminal.
Or any error messages coming up so we can
So get a
see
screenshot.
Yep.
Okay.
They'd send those over to me, and whilst I'm on the phone to the customer, the call gets booked in for the next available slot.
Right, when we talk about slots, could you just describe how the slot system
Yeah,
works?
so we book calls in on the hour every hour up until 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Um,
Why do we stop at 4?
Because we have a support meeting every day,
Right.
just to go through any issues that anybody's had.
Okay.
And
That's it. So
And
we've got,
that's it,
let's
yeah.
say a call came in now. What you would do is you'd look on the fault logging system. You can look on Vivanti, or you look to see if there's any gaps.
Yep.
We try to call a customer back within 24 hours. I think we've managed to achieve that now, haven't we, for
We
quite
have,
a few
yeah.
months. So we've got a number of people in two support departments. Usually got one person out, usually somebody out doing SLA
Upgrades, yeah.
maybe two if it's a busy week. But normally we've got a full team upstairs, and we're addressing calls either the same day, or if it moves later into the day, it tends to be
The next day,
before
yeah.
dinner the next day. Okay. So the customer gets allocated a time. So let's pretend now they've rung in, there's a gap at 3 o'clock this afternoon. What happens at 3 o'clock?
So the call gets booked for 3 o'clock
Yep.
for one of the technicians. The technician would then call the customer.
When a customer's not there, let's say they're in a meeting, what happens?
Okay, they send an email that they've tried to call them,
Right.
and hope that they come back to us.
So is there a cut-off point? Let's say 3 o'clock we ring, there's no answer. Or there is an answer, and somebody says, sorry, Sam's in a meeting. Do we leave it up? Do we leave it
So
a
we
while?
usually leave it for about half an hour,
Right.
depending upon what the call is. If it
Okay.
can still be resolved within.
So the guys
half.
are aware of the description. They've got the description of the fault from you. They looked at it and think, right, this isn't going to be too hard to solve. And so if we try a couple of times, maybe.
Yeah, they usually try to call and email,
Right.
and they let me know as well.
What happens if we just can't get hold of the customer? What do we do then?
So what happens then is the technician lets me know that they haven't
Yeah.
been able to get in touch, and the call then goes back in new for me to rebook.
And how would you let the customer know that they've missed that slot?
So I would then give them a ring and just
Yes.
say, oh, we haven't been able to get audio, we're able to reschedule.
Right.
Usually the customers are quite good in letting us know that
Yeah.
they've been in a meeting and they'd
Sure.
like to reschedule. So
Good. And when we reschedule again, because we're making a call back within 24 hours, there's a good chance we could speak to them later that day,
Yeah.
or
In the morning,
the
yeah.
next morning. Yeah. Okay. Why do we give 1 hour for the support calls? What's the idea behind that?
So mainly it's so that the lads have got enough time to work on the call.
Yeah,
It's not
prep for it,
rushed,
yes.
prep for it.
Yeah.
Write the notes on the calls
Yeah,
after.
write any
yeah.
notes, and if anything needs to be brought up in our daily support meeting, they've got
Yes.
that time to
Yeah.
do so as well.
Good. Okay. You got anything to add this?
No, I think the only benefit of using the online service is all the actions that our support guys have done, our Charlotte's done, is against the call, and the customer can see that.
Yes, and that's important as we move forward. Certainly, the fact that the customer gets an email back from us every time we make an amendment, let's say
An
we
action,
get an action. That's it. Every time we create an action, the customer's getting an email back so they can see that
Yeah,
things
yeah,
are actually
yeah.
happening. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else? That's a pretty good description.
Is it worth
of that.
touching on the support meeting or not, how that works?
Well, the support meeting, yeah, okay. So that's that. We have the meeting at 4 o'clock every day, and it's not just the support guys that are brought into that. We pull in everybody. I mean, even the guys that are out in the field. We often have people ringing in from customers' premises. We use Teams, don't we? Microsoft Teams, or from travel lodges if they're staying overnight somewhere. So we try and get everybody involved. And what that means is if we are discussing a fault, we've got everybody from the implementation guys through to directors, through to technical guys, through to customer care. And we can get a good feel for how how everything's running. It's good. We often get a very non-technical description from Carl about he may have spoken to somebody during that day who has a problem. It's then escalated through to the technical side of the company, and it just sort of provides a better service, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This has been a much more civilised talk this time with you, rather than having.
I've been replaced. Finally.
Nice one. Is there anything else to add, or is that it?
No, that's
I
it.
think that's it.
Great.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So what we're going to do, if anybody is on a managed service and is interested in talking to us about using the online login system, to give Charlotte a call. Charlotte's email address is support@timeware.co.uk, or we can get her on the telephone on 0044 1706 658 222. Mike looks relieved I've not asked him for the phone number yet. Okay, thank you everybody.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.